Russian citizens, migrants and Ukrainians from temporarily occupied territories. Every month, according to Ukrainian intelligence, the Russian army is replenished with 20,000 military personnel in various ways. The Russian command widely practices forced signing of contracts with former military personnel. They are called to the military registration and enlistment offices, supposedly to verify data, and are given a contract to sign. Those who refuse are threatened with criminal prosecution.
This is recruiting both among prisoners and among debtors, among unreliable categories of the population. We are not talking about volunteers there. It is recruiting, including with the motivation of financial payment. Or if a person does not sign a contract, then they are promised some kind of sanctions. Mobilization activities continue. Most of them are hidden. They have not yet decided on the next wave of public mobilization, although such decisions were already on the table. Andriy Yusov, representative of the main Directorate of Intelligence of the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense.
A new wave of mobilization in Russia is an extremely unpopular decision, so the Kremlin is likely to avoid it until the presidential elections, writes British intelligence. At the same time, the occupiers' losses at the front remain high, and on October the 20th, the Ukrainian Defense Forces set a new record: 1,380 military personnel and 55 tanks eliminated for a day. The authorities of the aggressor country are trying to solve problems with the mobilization, including using migrants from Central Asia. Russian security forces regularly conduct raids looking for men who have recently received Russian citizenship and have not registered for military service. The Russian Investigative Committee proposed that those who refuse to join the ranks of the occupation army be deprived of their Federation passports. But no matter how discriminatory the proposal may be, losing the citizenship of the aggressor country is the best available option, lawyers say.
A foreign migrant cannot be drafted into war, and a very good way for them out of this is to lose their Russian citizenship. A very good way out, much better than being killed. Quite a few migrants have already begun to understand this. I have been receiving requests for more than a year about how to renounce Russian citizenship, so I think that Bastrikin's initiative, no matter how disgusting it may be, will bring more benefits to migrants than harm.
The Russians intensified mobilization measures in the temporarily occupied left bank of the Kherson region. Together with them, the terror was intensified. Searches and thorough checks of mobile phones.
Men need to leave through Crimea while it is still possible, because the issue of total mobilization is a matter of time. We see that this is precisely why they directed all their efforts. First, they collected data on people due to these forced passports issuing and created a system of military registration and enlistment offices. Then they forced people to register, because if a person do not, then problems arise when checking documents. Now these summons have been sent for a medical examinations. Therefore, they need to leave now. Yuri Sobolevsky, first deputy chairman of the Kherson Regional Council, on the air of the Ukrainian National Teleson.
Residents of Ukrainian territories captured by the Russians should avoid personally receiving summonses and calls from the occupation, military registration and enlistment offices, change their phone numbers if they are known to the occupation authorities, move and not tell anyone except their closest relatives about their whereabouts. If they do contact you, you can give reasons why you cannot serve, for example, chronic diseases or seriously ill relatives. It is advisable to prove the reason by providing documents, so you need to be prepared. Whenever possible, it is worth leaving the occupation to territories controlled by Kyiv or to third countries.